Every year, millions of renters move out of an apartment, wait for their security deposit, and never see it again. Most assume that's just how renting works. You hand over a chunk of money, and if your landlord decides to keep it, there's nothing you can do. That assumption is wrong. It's wrong in almost every state in this country, and the law that proves it has been sitting quietly in state housing codes for decades, waiting for someone to actually use it. This is the story of how one tenant turned a stolen security deposit into a legal payout, and exactly how the law makes that possible for almost anyone. Meet Jordan. Jordan is 28, just finished a 2-year lease on a 1-bedroom apartment and is moving across town for a new job. Before moving out, Jordan does everything right. Deep cleans the apartment, patches a single small nail hole in the wall, takes photos of every room, every corner, every surface, hands in the keys on move-out day exactly as required. The deposit was $1,200. Jordan assumes it'll be back within a few weeks, maybe minus a small cleaning fee. 30 days pass, nothing. Jordan calls the landlord. No answer. Emails, no response. 2 months go by. Jordan has officially written off the money, assuming it's simply gone, the cost of moving on with life. Then Jordan mentions it to a co-worker who, as it turns out, went through almost the exact same thing 2 years earlier, and actually got the deposit back, plus more. The co-worker asks one simple question. Did your landlord send you an itemized list of deductions? Jordan pauses. No. Nothing in writing. No letter, no email, no explanation, just silence. The co-worker's expression changes. That's not just rude, that might be illegal. Jordan had no idea that a written itemized statement wasn't a courtesy, it was a legal requirement. And the co-worker explains something that completely reframes the situation. In most states, when a landlord fails to follow the rules around returning a deposit, they don't just owe the deposit back. They can owe double, sometimes triple. Here's how this actually works. In the majority of states, landlords are required by law to return a tenant's security deposit or send a written itemized statement explaining any deductions within a specific window after move-out. That window is typically somewhere between 14 and 30 days, depending on the state. If the landlord misses that deadline or fails to provide proper documentation, courts in many states can rule that the landlord forfeited the right to keep any portion of the deposit at all, regardless of whether there was legitimate damage to the unit. And if a court finds that the landlord acted in bad faith, meaning they kept the money without justification, ignored the tenant, or simply hoped the tenant wouldn't bother fighting for it, many states allow the court to award the tenant double or even triple the original deposit amount as a penalty, not as a favor, as the law. Jordan starts digging, pulls up the state's specific landlord-tenant statute, reads through the requirements one by one. No itemized statement was ever sent. The deadline had passed months ago. Under the law in Jordan's state, that silence wasn't just frustrating, it was a violation with a built-in financial penalty attached to it. Let's break down what this law actually protects, because the details matter. First, the deadline. Most states require landlords to return the deposit or provide an itemized statement within a defined window after move-out. Check your specific state's deadline, since it varies. Second, the itemized statement. If a landlord deducts money for damage or cleaning, they generally must provide a written explanation with supporting costs, not just keep the money and stay silent. Third, bad faith penalties. Many states allow courts to award tenants double or triple damages when a landlord willfully violates these rules. This is specifically designed to punish landlords who treat security deposits as free money. betting that tenants won't fight back. Fourth, the burden of proof. In most disputes, the landlord, not the tenant, has to prove that the deductions were legitimate and necessary. Fifth, small claims court. These cases almost never require a lawyer. You file, you bring your documentation, and a judge decides. Jordan does exactly what worked for the co-worker. Gathers every piece of evidence, the move-out photos, the lease agreement, every unanswered email and call log showing attempts to reach the landlord. Writes a formal demand letter citing the specific state law and giving the landlord a final deadline to respond. The landlord doesn't respond. Jordan files in small claims court. The filing fee is minor, well under $50 in most states. 8 weeks later, the case is heard. The landlord doesn't show up. The judge rules in Jordan's favor. Full deposit back, plus the statutory damages for the violation. $1,200 becomes well over $2,000. So here's exactly what you should do if you're owed a security deposit and your landlord is staying silent. Step 1. Check your specific state's deadline for security deposit returns. A quick search for your state name plus security deposit law will get you the answer. Step 2. Confirm whether your landlord sent a proper, itemized statement of any deductions. No statement or a vague one may be a violation on its own. Step 3. Gather your documentation. Move out photos, the lease, every email or call attempting to reach the landlord. Step 4. Send a written demand letter citing the relevant law and a clear deadline for response. Step 5. If there's still no resolution, file in small claims court. It's inexpensive, doesn't require a lawyer, and the law in most states is built specifically to favor tenants when landlords ignore these rules. Step 6. Keep every piece of correspondence. The paper trail is what wins these cases. Jordan never expected to end up in a courtroom over a security deposit. Most people don't. But the truth is, this law exists precisely because lawmakers understood something simple. Landlords sometimes count on tenants giving up, assuming the money is gone, assuming it's not worth the fight. The penalty built into these laws exists to flip that math entirely. If you've ever moved out of an apartment and quietly accepted that your deposit just disappeared, it might not be gone. It might just be waiting for someone to ask the right question. If this helped you understand something you didn't know before, share it with someone who's about to move out of an apartment, because the best protection against an unfair landlord isn't a lawyer. It's knowing the law exists in the first place.